So today's lesson is really just a review of volume for cones, cylinders, and pyramids. But today is going to be using word problems. So I have 5 word problems that I'm going to work through with you. They came from your Edulastic assignments for this week. So a cone-shaped vessel whose internal radius is 12 centimeters has a height of 50 centimeters, is full of liquid. The contents of this are emptied into into a cylindrical vessel that has an internal radius of 10. You have to find the height. All right, so we're going to take and find the volume of the cone-shaped vessel and then figure out how tall the cylinder must be. So let's do it. So let's see, the volume of a cone, pi r squared h divided by 3 equals pi times my radius, which is 12, squared, which is 144, times my height of 50, all over 3. I'm going to leave my answer in terms of pi just so you can see what's going on. 144 times 50 is 7,200 times pi. So 7,200 pi divided by 3 is 2,400 pi centimeters cubed. All right. So I know that the volume of the cylinder must also be 2,400 pi centimeters cubed. And that has to equal, let's see, the formula for the volume of a cylinder is pi times my radius, which is 10, squared, 100, times my height. Well, if I look at this, I can divide both sides by 100 pi. Divide by 100 pi. And when I do that, the pi's cancel out, and 2,400 divided by 100 is 24 equals, the 100s and the pi's cancel out, h. So what is the height of the cylindrical vessel? The height is 24 centimeters. All right, let's look at our second one. It says, at a fair, a worker in one of the food stalls has a large cylindrical vessel of base radius 50 and a height of 30. So it's a cylinder. Let's see, the volume equals pi times the radius, 15 squared, times the height. So the volume of the cylinder, the large container, 15 squared is 225 times 32 is 7,200 pi centimeters cubed. All right, so we're going to take this large, think of it as a giant pitcher of orange juice. We're going to take this giant pitcher of orange juice and we're going to dump it into smaller containers. So the large container has a volume of, what did we say? 72,000 pi, 7,200 pi centimeters cubed. Let's find the volume of one of the small glasses. Those are just small little juice glasses. Well, it has a radius of 3 and a height of 8. So the volume equals pi times my radius squared times my height. Well, 3 squared is 9, and 9 times 8 is 72. So the volume is 72 pi centimeters. But the question isn't what is the volume of the small glass. The question is, how much money are they going to make if they sell all of the juice? So you have to figure out how many glasses of juice they can sell. So if I take the volume of the large container and divide it by the volume of each glass, Notice that the pi's cancel out, and 72 will go into 7,200 100 times. So I can sell 100 glasses of juice. How much do I make for each glass? I sell them at $3 a piece. So how much money am I going to make? I'm going to make $300. Let's look at our example 3, or question number 3. A pile of sand is in the form of a cone. The circumference of its base is measured at 360 centimeters. The height of the cone is 80 centimeters. The sand is going to be loaded into a truck at a rate of 30 cubic centimeters per minute. How long will it take to load the sand into the truck? Please use 3.14 for pi. So the first thing that we need to do is find the radius. I have to work backwards with the circumference. So I know that the circumference is 360 centimeters. I'm going to use that to find the radius. I know that I can use the formula circumference equals 2 times pi times r. I'm going to divide both sides by 2 pi. I'm going to make sure that when I do that, I put the 2 pi in a parenthesis in my calculator. So I find out that the radius equals 57.29. All right, so that is the radius of the cone-shaped pile of sand. Now I'm going to use that to find the volume of the pile of sand. So the volume equals pi times the radius squared times the height, all divided by 3. So when I do all of that math, I end up with 91.6, which is about 92 minutes. All right. Next one. The height of 2 right circular cones are in a ratio of 1 to 1. So that means that their heights are the same. That's a bad picture. Let's try that again. It means their heights are the same. So let's say that this has a height of 3, and let's say that this one has a height of 3. It says that their radii are in the ratio of 3 to 4. 3 to 4. Does that make sense? If the height is in a ratio of 1 to 1, it means that they're equivalent to each other. So I need to find their volumes. So the volume of the first cone equals pi times the radius squared times the height, all divided by 3. Well, these 3's cancel out, so the volume of the first one is going to be 9 pi. Let's look at the volume of the second one. Volume equals pi times the radius squared times the height, all divided by 3. These 3's cancel out, so the volume of the second one, 4 squared is 16. So it asks you to find the ratio of their volumes. Well, if the ratio is 3 to 4, that means the smaller number goes on the top. So the ratio of their volumes is 9 pi to 16 pi, but what happens to my pi's? They cancel out. So the ratio of their volumes is 9 to 16. And it even said to put your answer in terms of a fraction. So there you go. The last question, I think drawing a picture helps. So it says if the radius and the base, the radius of the base and the height of a right cone are both doubled. So let's just start with a regular cone. Let's say that it has a radius of 2 and a height of 3, and then I'm going to double them both. So now it has a radius of 4 and a height of 6. I have to see how many times larger the volume is going to be. So let's figure out the volume of the small one. Volume equals pi times the radius, 2, squared, times the height, 3, all over 3. Well, you'll see that the 3's cancel out. 2 squared is 4, so the volume of the small cone is 4 pi. Let's figure out the volume of the large cone. Volume equals pi times the radius squared times the height, all divided by 3. Well, 3 will go into itself 1 time, 3 will go into 6 2 times. So the volume equals 4 squared is 16 times 2 is 32 pi. Let's see, when I compare 4 pi to 32 pi, what happened? How many times larger did the new one become? 8 times larger, because 4 times 8 is 32. And that's it. So your homework for today is actually a Google Sheet. I have it attached on the next page. This Google Sheet has some word problems on it, and the way that it works is you fill in all of the colored grids. So all of the grids are colored pink, and when you put the correct answer in, the grid will turn green. Now, if the answer that you input is incorrect, then the grid will turn white, I believe. So you want your grids to change from pink to green. That means that your answer is correct, okay? Good luck.